Aljamain Sterling is in such crazy good shape ahead of his latest title defense that fans are worried for his opponent Sean O'Malley. The Funk Master will be putting his bantamweight belt at stake when he challenges top contender Sean O'Malley at UFC 292 on August 19th. The two have been trash-talking each other to build up the hype, and man is it working. They've got fans on the edge of their seats in anticipation. What are the odds for this match? What do the fans think? Keep watching and find out. A couple of days ago, Sterling uploaded a gym video to show off to his fans and, of course, foes, the impressive results of the crash diet he is currently on so that he can come in the 135-pound category. The man was not modest at all. He put his body on full display, flexing his abs, biceps and back before looking straight into the camera and sending a message to Sugar ahead of their highly anticipated clash. You know how the saying goes, if you got it, flaunt it. His exact words were, "You asked for this, baby. This is what you wanted. Let's go." UFC fans flooded the post's comment section to applaud his physique and also raise some concerns for O'Malley, who has to fight him in the octagon in a couple of weeks' time. One tweet read, "Bro legitimately may have the best physique in UFC history," and another stated, "O'Malley is dead." It's not just that he's absolutely ripped now, Sterling is also an elite-level MMA fighter, one of the finest there is. The 34-year-old has some impressive high-profile wins over Henry Cejudo, Petr Yan, DJ Dillashaw and Corey Sandhagen during his current 9-fight win streak. On the other hand, O'Malley has been making his way through the ranks. After being victorious for his first 12 professional fights, he suffered a terrible first-round defeat when he increased his level of competition by going up against Marlon Chito Vera at UFC 252 in August 2020. O'Malley couldn't bring himself to accept the loss and has moved ahead with his MMA career as if that never happened, getting himself 3 low-level victories before outpointing Yan last October. Maybe that was his way of preparing himself for the beast he has to face now, who will undoubtedly be a tougher opponent than any of his previous ones. O'Malley will probably never be bigger or more ripped than Sterling, but he's got plenty of other things that make him a worthy opponent. He's got his height, striking skills, reach and knockout power. Honestly, he's got a good chance of becoming a champion at UFC 292. They both have their own strengths and are quite different fighters, which will make it even more interesting to see how they fare against each other. Sterling will have to fight tooth and nail to keep his bantamweight title, something he isn't happy about. The matchup was set almost right away after Sterling defeated Henry Cejudo in May. The pairing was revealed despite Sterling already having said that he wanted some time off to rest and heal before fighting again. Sterling hasn't tried to hide his annoyance at his title defense being set for UFC 292. However, in a video with Eric Nixick, he went a step further and said that he will be competing at that event against his will. The 34-year-old revealed on his YouTube channel that he gives it his all. He emphasized that people often don't understand just how dedicated he is. He admitted that he does sometimes suffer from burnout and bad mental health because of the demanding nature of the sport can take a toll on you. Besides wanting some time to rest, he had other plans that he wanted to focus on, which were put on hold because of his coming match. And it left him feeling frustrated and determined not to allow such interference again. He did feel that he should fight the match even though he didn't want to. Even though some might argue that no one coerced him into competing, Sterling believed that they still exerted an influence on his decisions. He reminded us that injuries were still a concern for him, and it felt as though he was indirectly implying that the UFC had methods of convincing him to fight, even though he was reluctant. His opponent, however, wasn't sympathetic at all and said that this was an excuse. At the end of the day, Sterling did agree to it, and he is going to be collecting his paycheck. But he admitted that his opponent is putting in the work and won't be easy to beat. He's expecting a very tough match. It's no secret by now that Sterling has got to be the UFC's least favorite champion. Both the Funk Master and President Dana White himself have made it very clear that they just can't see eye to eye. Sterling claims that White doesn't acknowledge everything he's achieved, and to him, UFC is like an estranged father. White has raised questions about Sterling's potency by deriding his reluctance to fight while hurt and even threatened to make a short notice interim championship. In a recent interview with the Schmo, Sterling shared his thoughts on his upcoming opponent in a rather relaxed tone. He said he couldn't remember the last time he knocked anyone out and even questioned whether any of his previous opponents were still a part of the UFC. Shots fired! As for the fight on August 19th, the Funk Master expressed his excitement, stating that the truth will come out when they're both in the ring. There's no other way around it. That's the thing about MMA. No matter how much shit either of them talk, it won't mean anything. The only thing that counts is what happens when they step into the octagon. Feeling confident about the outcome, Sterling said that after the match, he'll have earned himself the title of 4-time Funk Master and he'll be taking a vacation afterward. So Dana and Hunter, you can save your calls. It's obvious that Sterling is looking forward to putting his skills on display and then enjoying a well-deserved vacation after that. But O'Malley feels differently. He thinks he's got his opponent all figured out and can already see his weakness. He said that Sterling, while in incredible shape, cuts a lot of weight, and that isn't good for a fighter. Because of this habit, he could probably take him down with one good shot to the chin. And that's how he predicts their match will go. Fans have accused Sterling of not having enough knockout power. Aljamain hilariously clapped back at a fan who accused him of lacking any knockout power based on how the majority of his fights have been decided. The back and forth on Twitter started after the reigning Bantamweight Champion replied to another comment towards a fan regarding the chances of Sean O'Malley finishing him at UFC 292. He reminded us that Sugar didn't manage to knock out Marlon Vera or Piotr Jan, and the same thing will happen in their upcoming title fight. That led another person on Twitter asking him why he's so shredded but doesn't really have any knockout skills. Funk Master didn't try to dodge the question, but instead replied. He gave a funny reply and told the person that the reason he doesn't have a lot of knockouts under his belt is because the energy they take would affect his ability to do other things. His exact words were, "I have it, I just don't want to break my hands. How I'm gonna wash my ass?" Okay, that was hilarious. Something tells us he could do a knockout, but just chooses not to and isn't making any false claims here. Surely that size must come with some benefits, plus his impressive history in the octagon. He's confident that he will end the match quickly and defeat his challenger. More specifically, in the second round of the match, he hopped onto Twitter to share his predictions for his upcoming bout, which will also be his last, as he stated he will be shifting up to featherweight. He mentioned that he feels Sugar will depend on his striking and that the fight will be over in the second round, writing that he sees Sean as a good striking test, but he will mess up one time or the other, probably the second round. He's played it out in his head a dozen times and is certain that that is how it'll go. But it's pointless to say anymore, we'll just have to wait and see how the match unfolds. Which of these two will you be placing your bets on, Sterling or O'Malley? Let us know in the comments. Before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!